Hi everyone. We will be starting the free career masterclass session in few minutes. Meanwhile, we are just doing a quick round of introductions on the chat here. So I am Rasha Khan. I am your host for today's webinar, and I am joining all the way from Bangalore, India. I would love to know where are you tuning in from? Not only me, for folks who actually have started joining us already. So you can let us know your name and where are you tuning in from and interact a bit, network a bit before we start, right? So let's just introduce yourselves on the chat here. And also, as we are nearing towards the end of the year as well. So you can let us know also, like, what are your career resolutions which you're planning for next year? So we'll start in 2, 3 minutes. Meanwhile, let's get settled in before we start. I see a lot of new folks are joining in. So let's start the session in few minutes. So today we'll be talking about game-changing emerging tech in cybersecurity for 2024. I see introductions have already started coming in on the chat here. I see Sai Kumar has joined us from Hyderabad. Nitish has joined from Bangalore. Amit has joined us from Hyderabad. And and also I see Paras Arora, who's a speaker today, has also joined us already. And Prajit has joined us from Hyderabad. We are also live on our YouTube channel as well. We're streaming live there as well. So, folks who have joined us on YouTube, we have a very interesting session lined up for you. And also, please do share your introductions on the chat, YouTube live chat box as well. We'll be looking at the YouTube live chat box as well. And also, if you have any questions as well, please feel free to put on your question on the YouTube live chat as well. We're taking questions from there as well. I see Anjesh has introduced themselves on the chat, YouTube live chat, and is joining from Bihar, Patna. I see Naka Raju is joining from Hyderabad on YouTube live chat box. And also a lot of new folks are joining in. So please do share your introductions on the chat here. We'll start the session right in few minutes. I see more introductions coming in on chat here. And I can see someone is asking, can't make out your name from email ID. So sorry for that. Will this masterclass be accessible later? Yes, it will be. You'll be getting a recording of the session post webinar. And I'm seeing a lot of introductions coming on the YouTube live chat box as well. So, folks who have joined us on YouTube, welcome. A very good evening to everyone. So, let me quickly take you through a few quick ground rules we have here for the session. So, in case you have any question for our speaker, Paras Arora, who has already joined us today, you can put down your questions in the Q&A box. And for folks who have joined us on YouTube, you can put all your questions on the YouTube live chat box. And only thing is just keep the questions related to cybersecurity or the program will be covering. That's all. Because today's session is all about cybersecurity and emerging, game-changing emerging tech in cybersecurity. We'll be covering that. We have an interesting session lined up for you. Also, the session is being recorded in case you want to go through the recording of the session again, in case you missed something, or if you liked something so much that you want to watch it again. So yes, you can expect a follow-up email with recording link and webinar certificate as well. And Siddharth has asked, like, will we get certificate for the webinar? Yes, you will get. You need to stay till the end and also put on your full name in the post webinar survey. know what exactly is the post-webinar survey. Once basically the Zoom session ends here, which is of 60 minutes duration, you will get an immediate pop-up from Zoom for a post-webinar survey where you can put down your full name, the need which you would want to see in the certificate, and also you will be getting a feedback basically option as well in case you have any feedback for us. You can let us know how, because we would love to make our webinars better so we can provide more value to you as well. So thank you, everyone. I see a lot of introductions coming in on chat and also our YouTube live chat box as well. So welcome once again. Today's program is powered by Simplilearn, world's #1 online bootcamp. We have been in the digital skills training space for almost 13 years now, and we are very proud of transforming lives by empowering people via these skills. We have advanced over 5 lakh plus careers in over 150 plus countries. We have over 800 plus qualified trainers. We have categories of courses ranging from AI, machine learning, data science, business analytics, cybersecurity, full stack development, and many more like that. So today we'll be talking about cybersecurity. And before we move on, let me quickly take you through the agenda of today's session. We'll be getting to know a little bit more about you, how we can help you out in your career better. We'll be talking about emerging technologies and cybersecurity in 2024. And we'll be talking about careers in cybersecurity in 2024. We'll be talking about the IIT Kanpur program, which gets you job ready, and also taking you through the enrollment steps of the program. Also, there will be a special duration for the Q&A part. So in case you have any question for our speaker today in related to cybersecurity career or the program by IIT Kanpur, you can let us know in the Q&A box and we'll try to address all of your queries as much as possible. And folks who have joined us on YouTube can let us know in the chat box here, and we'll try to take up questions from there. So before we start, as I mentioned, we'll get to know you a little better. So let's start with a quick poll here we have for you. So the poll which you can see here on the screen here and which is launched right now says how many years of experience do you currently have? So you can see 4 quick options of the poll here on Zoom. And for folks who have joined us on YouTube here, you can just refer to these options here. The first one is currently studying. Second one is 0 to 3 years. Third one, 3 to 5 years. Fourth one, more than 4 years. So when I talk about experience here, I'm talking about work experience here. So you can let us know through this poll here. Let's get to know each other a little better. We usually get a lot of folks coming from different set of experiences. So I'll just give 15 seconds for the poll here, and also for the folks who have joined us live on YouTube as well, to let us know how many years of experience do you currently have. And also to introduce yourself in case you're not introduce yourself on the chat here. I see most of the folks have already shared their responses for the poll here. How many years of experience do you have? For a few of the folks who are still sharing, please quickly go and have a look at the poll which I've launched, and please do share us your responses. Last 10 seconds, folks, before we start with the session. Awesome. I think most of the folks have already shared responses for the poll. So let me quickly end the poll. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And also share the results with you folks. So as you can see that 37% of the folks who have joined us have more than 5 years of experience. 32% of the folks who have joined us are currently studying. 24% of the folks who have joined us have 0 to 3 years of experience. And 8% of the folks have 3 to 5 years of experience. So as I mentioned earlier, we usually get folks joining us from different set of experiences, and always good to have a diverse crowd here. And folks on YouTube as well, I see you have basically shared your responses on the live chat box as well. So thank you for sharing that with us. Uh, and now I would like to welcome our speaker Paras Arora today for the Career Masterclass session. So welcome Paras. It's always a pleasure hosting you and to have you for these webinars. Yours is always an interesting one, and we have an interesting topic lined up today, which folks definitely will be enjoying, I'm sure. So would you like to give us your introduction for the crowd here?
Sure. Thank you so much, Rasha, for having me here, and thank you everyone for joining this webinar as well. So my name is Dr. Paras, and I have been into this industry for a little over 19 years now, and I started my career journey from an IT standpoint, wherein I started working on the Microsoft technologies, and then later on transitioned into the Unix world, then databases and application development, and so on before I eventually discover my passion within cybersecurity, and have been into the cybersecurity industry for about 14 years now, dedicatedly to the cyber world. Now, within the cybersecurity itself, have seen multiple phases of the stream of the study in terms of the compliances, in terms of the governance and risk as well, along with the technical side of the cyber world as well. So, have been into various streams of cybersecurity, have worked with many global organizations like Verizon, like PwC, and Microsoft currently. So yeah, I have been into this industry and totally love my job throughout the day. And happy to be here on this webinar, hosting you all here along with Russia.
Thank you so much, Powers. Thank you for introduction. Let's move on and let's start with talking about the emerging technologies in cybersecurity in 2024. So over to you, Powers.
Thank you, Rasha. And I would say, see, from the emerging technology standpoint, there are a lot of changes that we are seeing. There's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of talk that we are seeing on the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, which is AI and ML in short. Now, while AI and ML have obviously found their way into a lot of technological advancements in terms of the natural learning processing or in terms of a deep learning and so on, there are multiple use cases that we can see with getting adopted within the information security or the cyber security world as well. Some of it relates to the IDR, which is intrusion detection and response, malware detection, and threat hunting as well. Now, traditionally, the IDR systems, which is intrusion detection and response systems, have relied on purely the rule-based and the signature-based techniques, wherein we can create a rule, we can create a signature, and if the rule and signature matches, then it can raise an alarm as an intrusion within the environment. However, these traditional techniques have not effectively detected the new threats, or they have not adopted to changing the attack patterns as well. Therefore, the world is now moving to the AI and ML techniques to enhance the accuracy and efficiency of the IDR systems. Some of the techniques which are being used within the IDR system from AI ML standpoint stands to be anomaly detection, wherein it's a very, very prevalent AI-based intrusion detection approach, which identifies the deviations from the system standard behavior. So anything which is of a deviation would be marked as a potential security threat. It may not be a confirmed security, but a potential security threat. This particular technique can be applied through diverse methods such as the statistical analysis, the distance metrics, the density-based algorithms, and so on. So it is pretty much prevalent today. The other side of it, or the other mechanism through which the IDR has adopted or is being researched to adopt AIML, is via supervised and the unsupervised learning as well. Now, what happens within the supervised learning is this particular technique entails the training the machine learning models on the labeled data to identify the patterns, predict the future outcomes, and so on. So there's a large data set to which the machine learning model are exposed to, and then because the data is labeled, The models can easily detect and identify which is a potential data to be secured and which is not to be secured, or which is not too risky, so as to say. So, so yeah, I mean, these models do exist. Some of the algorithm includes the decision trees, the neural networks, and the support vector machines as well. These are some commonly employed learning techniques in the intrusion detection as well. Now, when we talk about the unsupervised learning, this is where the things becomes a little tricky, wherein while in the supervised model, the data is labeled, in unsupervised learning, the data is not labeled. So, which means there's a lot of unstructured data, there's a lot of unlabeled data as well. And the models or the AI technique has to identify the patterns in that unlabeled data without any prior knowledge or labeling. So these methods do exist in terms of the intrusion detection and response. The second area where the AI ML plays a lot of key value system is in terms of a malware detection, wherein it can detect the malwares and the anomalies through deep learning and simple learning, behavior-based analysis, which is pretty much prevalent even today in terms of the EDRs and stuff, and the natural language processing. Now, while these are some common ways to have the malware detection done through AI ML, they have their own pros and cons. For instance, in the deep learning, the mechanism or the model can identify the complex patterns and the features. But the downside is you need to have a very, very large amount of data that you can expose the model to, because until or unless you have a large model or a large data for a model to read and recognize, you don't really get the value of a deep learning. The second method, which is ensemble learning, this is great theoretically because it has multiple, it's basically a combination of multiple models for improved performance. So you get the power of, let's say, almost all the models which are available, but then computationally it becomes very, very expensive. So not so practical in terms of the implementation. Then comes the behavior-based analysis, wherein you can detect the unknown malware because it's a behavioral thing. But then, what if the malware is benign and it is hiding the traces, or it's keeping silent till the time some trigger happens? So it becomes a little difficult to identify the benign and the malicious behavior in the behavior-based analysis, and then the natural language processing. It's great to identify any obfuscated code, but at the same time, it offers a very limited applicability to certain types of malware because not all the malwares are kind of obfuscating the actual code. They can be the real code as well. So very, very limited in terms of the applicability. So yeah, these are some of the challenges that we see from the malware detection standpoint. Now, when it comes to a threat hunting, this is something which is very interesting because it has got multiple perspectives to it. So, for example, a threat hunting not necessarily becomes identifying a threat and hunting kind of a stake out of a hay, but then at the same time, threat hunting is also about sharing the information and knowledge about the threats that you have already identified, how those information or that intelligence can be shared and leveraged by the other organizations as well. So it is not only about threat hunting, it is also about the threat distribution. It is also about the threat prediction systems as well. So threat hunting basically entails a proactive approach to identify the signs of compromise, any adversarial activity within the organization infrastructure, and so on. So these are really cool things from a hacker standpoint, even from a kind of a proactive prevention standpoint as well. So the threat hunting do take the benefit of the natural language processing for the textual data analysis. We do can leverage the deep learning algorithms for the pattern recognition, and we can also do a graph analysis for identifying the intersection and the intricacies between the network relationships as well. So these are the mechanisms which are available from a threat hunting standpoint, and it's good to use all of this. But then some of the challenges that comes with the natural language processing, for example, can be related to the data quality, accuracy, and integrity. But at the same time, these are some of the models which are available. So yes, the adoption of AI and ML in security is practical. It can be done, and it definitely would play a lot of changing roles and game changer from the prevention from evolving threats perspective in the coming future.
Thank you so much, Para, for taking the first emerging technology in cybersecurity. Let's move on to the next one, zero trust architecture.
So this one, I would say it's already emerged, I would say, but then the adoption of zero trust architecture is really important. It fundamentally believes in three basic principles. And the first one is verify the explicitly who you want to authenticate, why you want to authenticate, what role the individual will get an authorization upon, and so on. So verify explicitly, that's one. So don't assume, that's the mantra. The second principle is of using the least privilege access. And this particular principle has been in the cyber and the information security world for long. So usage of the least privilege access means you do not have access to any infrastructure or any application or any data. But at the time that you need the access, you have a JIT, which is just in time access request, somebody approving it based on the rationale that you have given. And then based on the approvals, you are getting access to the particular system or a data set. Now, what that means is you need to have some kind of a processing mechanism. You need to have the approval mechanism as well, so that the just-in-time access should not get delayed. It should not become hindrance to the availability of the data as well. So you need to set up the processes. You need to set up the systems in a way wherein you do not have the access, but people can get the access based on the requirement. The third principle is you assume that you are already compromised. Be it an individual, be it an organization level, always assume that you are already compromised, and that's the end of it. By assuming that you are already compromised, you are basically building up your resilience. You are basically building up your fort of security controls, wherein there are levels of security that an individual has to pass through before they can even see the data. So assume that you are breached. So these are some principles from a zero trust architecture standpoint. Some of the implementation, let's say at a network level, include micro LAN segmentation as well, wherein you create a lot of small networks, wherein the users are confined to, let's say, 10 systems, or a network of 10 systems. And if they have to communicate to another network, they have to authenticate, they have to go through the policy checks and the need assessment as well. So you can apply the zero trust architecture, but then by applying a zero trust architecture, one needs to identify a very sweet spot and a balance between the need and the want. So if security is your priority, I would say zero trust architecture is the way to go. But at the same time, if the usability or a functionality or the convenience of a user service is the need, then zero trust architecture may not be the right choice. So you need to find the right balance between the security and the usability. But the zero trust architecture do play an important role in certain industries as well, like for example, oil and gas industry, which is a critical infrastructure from a nation security standpoint as well. So it definitely plays out a major role there.
As we move on to the next emerging technology here, quantum safe cryptography.
So this one is really interesting one. And the reason I say so is cryptography today, for example, is in itself is a very vast topic. Now, the moment we talk about cryptography, the first thing that I remember of my older days is the RSA algorithm, where there was a multi-factor authentication hardware key. So the number keeps on changing onto the hardware, and then any authentication that I had to do on the server system had to go through the series of authentication measures. So it started off. I mean, my memory of cryptography starts off from that point. But having said so, the cryptography today is safe. uh, is it 100%? The answer is no. There's nothing called 100% safety and security, which exists even today. But there is a study that was done by the NIST on the cryptography itself, on the post quantum cryptography, which says that the first breach of the public key or the PKI infrastructure can come as soon as 2030, which means that while we are developing the quantum computers, the capacity of those computers would be such that they will be able to break the PKI infrastructure, which is a public key infrastructure, as soon as by 2030. So it is a possibility which is researched out. At the same time, Dr. Michel from University of Waterloo has quoted that uh, I have estimated a 1 in 7 chance that some of the fundamental public key cryptography tools upon which we rely today will be broken by 2026. So it is even earlier than what NIST is predicting, which suggests that there are efforts which are being directed uh, dev- towards breaking the cryptography which exists today from a PKI infrastructure. At the same time, there are efforts to secure the future as well. And some of the examples that we see from a future safe or a quantum safe cryptography includes crystals, Kyber crystals, Dilithium, Falcon, and Sphinx Plus. These are some of the algorithms which have been nominated, which have been selected by the NIST to be standardized for the quantum safe cryptography. So this particular topic is interesting one because this is something which is preserving our future. So yeah, there are a lot of developments which are happening in this domain.
Thank you so much for taking us through this quantum safe cryptography technology. Let's move on to the next one here, blockchain security.
So the moment I hear about blockchain, immediately the kind of bell that rings into my mind relates back to Ethereum, which is like a cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin, which is like a cryptocurrency again. But this blockchain technology has been there in the industry for a while now, and there are a lot of development that has happened into the blockchain security. Now, the blockchain in itself is based on three principles of consensus, cryptography, and the decentralization. So there has to be a kind of a vote bank for any new node or any new block to be attached to the blockchain. The entire blockchain is based on the cryptography, wherein the nodes, the blocks itself, the data is secured from the encryption standpoint, and then the decentralization in terms of the ledger, how decentralized way the ledger is maintained across the blocks of data. Now, there are three types of blockchains that exist today in terms of the private blockchain, public blockchain, and the consortium blockchain as well. The private blockchain, I would say, is the most isolated and the segmented one, wherein for any party to join the blockchain, it has to be done via an invitation. So it is not open to all. So it is a private blockchain which isolates the rest of the network with the blockchain implementation. The second one is the public blockchain, where anybody can go and join the public blockchain. So this particular blockchain implementation focuses on the participation and the transparency. The transaction consensus in the public blockchain is decentralized, which means that anyone can participate in validating the network transaction, and the software code for the implementation of a public blockchain is also open source. So it is available to public. Example of the public blockchain includes your Bitcoin and the Ethereum that I was talking about. So it is open and public. People can go participate in the Bitcoin and the Ethereum mining as well, and they can be a part of the blockchain. The third one is the consortium blockchains. Now, typically, when we are talking about the blockchains, normal implementation includes the public and the private one. However, this consortium blockchain, it is consist of the known participants which are pre-approved. So in the private blockchain, it is by invitation. So for example, I don't know Russia, but somebody has recommended me Russia. So I have invited Russia to participate in the blockchain. But in the consortium blockchain, the individuals or the people who are party to the blockchain are already pre-approved. So there is no invitation. There is no invite being sent out to Russia. Russia automatically inherits the access to the consortium blockchain. So these are typically for example, consider a bank where you are already having an account. So you would become a part of a consortium blockchain once they move on to it because they know you already. So there is a trust which is already there, and they don't have to invite you to be part of it. Rather, they do it at the back end, and you become a part of the consortium blockchain automatically. Some of the security methods which can be used for the protection of the blockchain data includes keeping the transaction data encrypted at both the ends, which is the nature and the behavior of the blockchain. The second one is by doing a rigorous background check of an individual who wants to become a part of the blockchain itself. The third one is creating the rules for, let's say, the public blockchain. If I create a rule, that particular individual, profiled individual, can become a part of the blockchain. So based on those rules, there's a smart contract that gets signed up. And the fourth one is obviously the usage of the private blockchain, wherein the things are literally hidden from everyone, and it's only by invitation. So so yeah, that's how I think from a blockchain security standpoint.
Thank you so much, Paras, for taking us through the blockchain security. Now, let's talk about 5G security here as one of the emerging techs in cybersecurity in 2024.
So 5G is interesting security, not security, but I would say the communication protocol, which is coming up. And from a speed perspective, from a reliability standpoint, from resilience standpoint, this is going to be a game changer protocol in the communication world. Now, while the 5G focuses on the speed of the data delivery as well, there is an underlying architecture which secures the entire transaction or the communication, so as to say. So, from a 5G principle standpoint, resiliency, privacy, communication security, identity management, and security assurance. These are some of the principles from the 5G security standpoint. Uh, Now, when the 5G infrastructure got started to be built up, so from its inception standpoint, there were few considerations which were given in terms of the traffic integrity protection. That was one of the infrastructure security consideration. The second one was on the subscriber privacy. The third one on the identity concealment of the subscriber, how to kind of isolate the identity of the subscriber from the rest. And then the roaming interface and the payload security, along with the mutual authentication and encryption of the key interfaces. So these are some of the underlying thought process from the 5G security standpoint. Having said so, if we really look at the diagram or a communication diagram at the bottom of the right slide, that's how the entire 5G model from a security standpoint today or in future would look like, wherein you have the devices and the gateways, you have the access and the network, you have application cloud infrastructure, identity management for the users. So these are all the verticals that the security layers are divided into. Now, while there are verticalized security models, there are also a system-wide security model, which is a horizontal security that cut across all the four verticals, which means that there is a security which is getting baked into the infrastructure at a horizontal layer, be it from a cloud infrastructure standpoint, be it from a network standpoint, be it from an application level security perspective, or any interconnection standpoint. So there is a system-wide security layer which is being developed along with the vertical security, which is in terms of the cloud native. So for example, if I have taken an AWS as a cloud, then how I am securing the AWS instances of my deployment, along with what the cloud provider is providing the native security. So that defines the virtualized or the cloud native security element. The other one can be an application or an appliance-based functions in terms of the units of the security that we would put on the applications as well. The applications can be in terms of the infrastructure applications, or it can be in terms of the hardware that we put from a receiver and a transponder and a transmitter perspective. So how those securities are being looked into, and then the distributed cloud and the edge computing as well. So these are some of the vertical levels security components that are being talked about, while there is a system wide security component as well, which is being baked into.
Thank you so much, Paras, for taking us to the 5G security of the emerging tech which we have talked about. So we have covered a lot of emerging techs which will be basically in demand in 2024 and beyond. How can we miss talking about careers in cybersecurity, the hottest trends and the hottest skills, the career paths which will be in demand? So let's start with the hottest skills in the cybersecurity space in 2024. As you can see, there are so many skills which will be in demand, are in demand, and will be in demand in the future. So, Paras, maybe can you take us through a few of these skills for folks to start with someone who basically has no experience in cybersecurity, has no clue about cybersecurity, comes from a completely different field. Maybe you can start with something they can start with, maybe few skills they can take up if they want to explore cybersecurity.
Right. So I would uh, probably take a couple of questions which has been posted as well, Rasha, and I'll talk about. So the first question that I see is coming from Rajesh, wherein he says that he's an auditor and want to move into the cybersecurity career. Uh, so what would be the path? Now, being an auditor, it's like you know multiple phases of technology. So I would say a successful auditor means that you need to know at a bare minimum the infrastructure from, let's say, Microsoft technology standpoint. So you need to know Microsoft servers operating system, you need to know the Linux operating system, you need to know the infrastructure at a network layer. It can be Palo Alto, it can be Cisco, it can be Juniper. So you need to know these infrastructure components so that when you go and land yourself into an audit, you are skilled enough to assess whether the controls implemented are correct or not. So, so yes, being an auditor requires a lot of technological depth as well, but does it require an absolute depth from, let's say, somebody doing a pen testing or somebody doing a threat hunting or incident response? The answer is no. So you need to know the topics, but you may not be the expert of all. You can definitely bring along domain experts along with you while doing an audit. Nobody expect you to be a master of all, but you need to be a jack of all for sure. The second question that I see is coming from Jigan. As a cybersecurity role, do we need to know AI and ML? The answer is no. You need not to know the AI and ML for all the cybersecurity roles. For few cybersecurity roles, you may want to know the AI and ML as well. It totally depends on what kind of role you want to pick it up and what profile you want to transition or you want to move into. So it is not necessary to know AI and ML for all the cybersecurity roles. The third question that I see is coming from Raibar Pusai. And he says that I'm working as a security analyst, but not satisfied with the work I'm doing daily. I'm planning to move in security engineer. How can I pivot? Now, it totally depends on your background. So if you are currently into a technical role. Like I said, I transitioned from the IT management, IT, not management, but IT help desk to the system administration, to the software development, and then to the security. So there is a path that you need to define, and the path will come to you automatically. It's just that you need to be aware in terms of what you are doing today and what excites you. So if you are already aware about the infrastructure, if you're already having an experience on the IT, then being into a cybersecurity at a technology side is easier. But let's say if you're coming from a non-technology background, but you want to gain experience into cybersecurity, then probably a GRC or a risk kind of a role would be a better position and a better role for you. So there are different roles which are available in cybersecurity, which caters to wide variety of experience. So there is a role for everyone, is what I say. So coming back to the roles, Rasha, I would say cloud security is the one which is at the top of the bullet as well, but at the same time, it is very much in demand too. A lot of organizations are moving towards the adoption of cloud. A lot of share market, I would say, is being mobilized because of the cloud adoption by the organizations as well. So the moment you see a cloud being adopted by an organization, it automatically means reduction in the capex, as well as reduction in the dependency on the human element for maintaining those infrastructure component. Now, cloud security is definitely one of the space wherein a lot of hiring, I would say, is currently being done, be it Microsoft or be it the AWS or any other player. So cloud security is definitely one of the hottest trend that is there today. AI and machine learning in cybersecurity is evolving. It is there, but it is evolving as a field now. It is good time, I would say, to be in this particular stream. Other than that, vulnerability assessment, risk management, threat analysis, these are definitely some of the areas which have been there traditionally and which basically remains the talk of the town even today. So yeah, these roles do exist and all are good in terms of the career ahead.
Thank you so much, Paras, for answering a few of the questions from the Q&A box and also taking us to these hottest skills in the cybersecurity space. Now that we've talked about the skills here, how can we miss talking about the career paths, right? So let's talk about the trending cybersecurity career paths in 2024.
So from a career path standpoint, security consultant, for example, is one such role, is one such path where the opportunities exist. There are big four organizations like PwC, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, KPMG, which hires constantly and very, very focused in a very, very focused way from the market because they need people to deliver on projects who are well versed with the security parlance and the security areas. So there is a great demand of being a security consultant there in the market. Cloud security engineer, we have talked about, there's a huge vacuum, I would say, from a cloud security standpoint, even today, while the cloud has been there for long, but then cloud security engineer role is still in demand. Threat intelligence analyst, pen testers, these are the roles which are not going to go away at any point in time. What you need, let's say from a pen testing standpoint, you need to be focused whether you want to do an infrastructure pen testing or an application pen testing. If you're focused towards an application pen testing and you are having a background of a software development, this is a great area for you to be in. It doesn't mean only the website or the web application. It can be a thick client like a software that you are testing. It can be a mobile app as well that you are going to test by being into a penetration tester. So a lot of career paths exist. I would say these are just probably 10% or 15% of what the roles exist today in the industry. But all of these roles are relevant. Most of the roles that I see on the screen requires the technical bend of mind. But at the same time, security consultant can be a GRC consultant as well, wherein you should be aware about the compliance standards, the regulations in the industry, So those comes in very handy by the virtue of being a security consultant. Security analyst, on the other hand, can be somebody who does the IT risk, who is aware about the security, who is aware about the cloud, who is aware about the infrastructure at an overview or an over level, and the role becomes interesting there. So yeah, these roles, these career paths do exist in 2024, and these are the hottest one that I see as well.
Thank you so much, Paras, for taking us to the trending cybersecurity career paths in 2024. Folks, we would love to know as we are nearing towards the end of the year. I'm pretty sure you're here because you are aspiring a career in cybersecurity or thinking about it, right? So you can see so many of these trending cybersecurity career paths on the screen, which Paras took us through. Let us know what is the career path in cybersecurity you are aspiring for on the chat here. So as you can see, so many career paths here: security analyst, security consultant, security engineer, security operations center analyst, cloud security engineer, threat intelligent analyst, and penetration tester, ethical hacker. So please let us know what exactly is the career path you are aspiring for or basically already working on. So you can let us know on the chat here as we move on. Let's talk about the salaries. Salaries are equally important, right? If you're getting into a field like cybersecurity. So here, as the demand is soaring, so are the salaries. Let me just quickly take you through the Indian average annual salaries, which we have gotten through a source from Glassdoor. So, for a cybersecurity engineer here, a minimum of 4 lakhs is what expected, and a maximum of 12 lakh rupees, INR rupees, is what you can earn as a cybersecurity engineer. Now, for a cybersecurity architect, you can expect a package of minimum 7 lakhs, ranging from an average of 20 lakhs and a maximum of 42 lakhs INR. And for a CSIO, basically, you can expect a minimum package of 11 lakhs, an average of 27 lakhs, and maximum of 61 lakhs. So these are the average salaries you can expect in India in the upcoming year, and much more than that as well. So, and also let's talk about the job growth here. So, CyberSeek and the US National Institute of Standards and Technology estimate there are 9,50,000 positions for the cybersecurity professionals, and 4,65,000 are unfilled. And Cybersecurity Ventures projects 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity positions worldwide by 2025. So we have a lot of job growth opportunity here in cybersecurity field. So we would want to know what exactly is stopping you from becoming a cybersecurity expert here. So let me quickly launch this poll here. So now this is to understand what exactly are the challenges you're facing when you're aspiring a career towards cybersecurity or aspiring to become a cybersecurity expert here. So you can see a quick poll which is launched now. This is a multiple choice question. So you can select multiple options here because there can be multiple challenges or concerns as well, right? When it comes to taking up a career in cybersecurity. Awesome. Also, for the folks who have joined us live on YouTube, please do let us know if you have any questions for our speaker, Paras, today. And we will take questions from the YouTube live chat box as well. And also let us know what exactly are your concerns as well when it comes to taking up a career in cybersecurity. So let me just read out these options for you. So the first one is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. Second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. A third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the last one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So as I was speaking, I see most of the folks have already responded for the poll here. We've gotten a really active set of audience here. So that's great. I'll just give 5 seconds more for the poll here. So last 5 seconds, folks who are still sharing it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks. Let's see what have you shared with us as your challenge here. What's stopping you? So what's stopping you from becoming a cybersecurity expert? We have gotten 56% votes for I wouldn't get the practical exposure I need to become job ready. 47% for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum, and 16% votes for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. 41% for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That definitely gives us a clarity on what exactly is the biggest challenge or what's stopping you from taking up a career in cybersecurity. Now, let me introduce you to the program by IIT Kanpur here. The Professional Certification Program in Cybersecurity, Red Team by IIT Kanpur, comes with a comprehensive and industry and learning path. You get access to integrated hands-on labs and projects, which we'll be talking about in the upcoming slides, and how exactly these projects are important for someone who has no experience to showcase in cybersecurity. Also, you get access to online live virtual classrooms. So we are not talking about only pre-recorded videos here. We are talking about live interaction with the instructor and also the student. So that is how the learning environment of the this particular course is. And also the program duration is of 6 months. So you can just complete it by giving 10 to 15 hours per week. Because initially I saw the folks who have joined us, most of them have more than 5 years of experience. And a few of them also have, like, they come from a different set of experiences as well. So this program will be flexible to fit your schedule. In case you're planning to take it up, you can complete it by just giving 10 to 15 hours per week. Also, let's talk about the eligibility and the prerequisites of the program here by IIT Kanpur. You need to have a basic understanding of programming and cybersecurity, a bachelor's degree in a related field with 50% or higher marks. No work experience is required for taking up this program, and also how this program builds your cybersecurity skills step by step. Let me take you through them. So it starts with an orientation session, and then we basically move on to ethical hacking, and we basically take you through that and in detail, and then we move towards vulnerability assessment, and then towards penetration testing, and then we basically ended with a cybersecurity caption project, which I'll talk more about in the upcoming slide. In a caption project, you basically get to choose from multiple several domains you can basically work from on a one caption project, which definitely will help you showcase real-time experience in case you don't have any in cybersecurity. We'll talk more about that. The electives here are basically by IIT Kanpur's academic masterclasses they get access to through this program, and generative AI masterclasses as well. That is again another new addition here in cybersecurity. As we saw, emerging technologies demand in AI/ML, so we have implemented the generative AI masterclass as well. So the elective here is optional. So it is comes as a part of the program, and we don't charge anything extra for that. It is up to you if you want to take it up. And let's talk about the cybersecurity, basically tools, libraries, and platform this program covers. So we have a specialized set of tools, libraries, platforms here: Toolbox, Pen Test Tools, Nmap, Kali Linux, Burpsuite, Google Doc, Wireshark, TCP/RAM, and RopeTex, HPing. So here, as you can see, we cover so many tools, libraries, platforms here. So just a quick question here. I'm pretty sure folks would want to know, Paris, here. For someone who's completely coming from a different background, what would you recommend to get started with in case they want to explore cybersecurity, which this program also covers?
So I would say, Rasha, from the tool standpoint, there are variety of tools. I mean, there is a plethora of tools which are available, be it from a development library standpoint or from the operating system per se, or from a native tool perspective. I would say some of the important ones which are like must have for people to know includes the Wireshark, from looking at the packet capture and deciphering those packet captures perspective, Nmap from the port probing and identifying the open and the closed port standpoint. And these are easy tools. I mean, these are not very tools that would need somebody's years of experience. So these are very relatively easy tool to learn. Burp Suite for somebody who is very, very interested in doing the application security and application pen testing. So Burp Suite comes in a must for the individual. And I would say the mother of all tools, which is like Kali Linux, is a must for people who are in the cyberspace. So if, for example, if I cover the Kali Linux and Burp Suite, I would say I am very comfortably completing about 60 to 70% of my journey in cybersecurity from a tooling standpoint. So I would say these are some of the important tools that are mentioned here. But then priority wise, I would go with Kali Linux and the Burp Suite to start with.
Thank you so much, Paras, for giving us an overview of these tools. As we move on, as I mentioned earlier, you get to work on projects with real business implications here. So gain access to a victim's machine is the first project, VAPT on a bank application, vulnerability assessment and exploitation. And also capstone project, which I mentioned earlier. So the capstone project showcase, basically you can showcase to your future employees here. Why a capstone project? They basically mimic a real life business scenarios for true experiences, which you can showcase in your portfolio once you're done with the program. And you get to choose from one out of several projects based on basically the preference you want to choose from. And also, the capstone projects are rigorous in nature and provide great examples of your work for your portfolio and resume. In case you are coming from a completely basically non-cybersecurity background, and you don't have any experience to showcase, this definitely helps you mimic that experience and gives you some kind of work experience which you can showcase to your future employer. Because usually the openings which come for freshers as well, they do ask for some kind of experience to showcase. So you get to work on industry-based projects, and also the capstone projects we can add to your portfolio definitely amps up your profile. And also the IIT Kanpur recognition, definitely having that in your resume definitely will help you land a job of your dreams as well. Now let's talk about the job as a service we have here. So we have partnered with IIM Jobs here, where you get access to job portal with a wide employer network and resume review and rewrite service as well, and a one-on-one interview service as well. So these are the options you get in order to basically help you with getting a job. All these are very important. Once you've completed the program, it's very important to prepare for it and have a kick-ass portfolio through this resume review and rewrite service definitely helps. And also having soft skills are really important for interview prep. So the one-on-one interview service definitely helps with the program. So let me quickly see. I think you guys have shared with us a lot of queries here, and we have answered a lot of them. And on YouTube as well, we have some questions here. So, Paris, we have one question from YouTube live chat box here. Sid Paul is asking that currently I'm working in an IT analytics role. So, what should be my path to go to a cybersecurity role here?
So I would say, see, from an approach standpoint, let's say if somebody wants to get into a cybersecurity role, the CV is something which is like a mirror for an individual into a panel as well. Now, when I look at a CV or a resume of an individual, there are a few things that I would definitely look at is the tools that an individual has been exposed to, the work that an individual has been exposed to, and the self initiation or a self ignited experience that an individual has done. Based on that, the interview can be scheduled, and once the interview is scheduled, people obviously can showcase their inclination, they can showcase their experience, the work, the excitement about the role. So having a very, very clear resume, having a very fair experience being put together on a piece of paper is very important, because that reflects your seriousness towards the role as well. So yeah, I think being an interviewer, being on the panel of interview as well across multiple organizations, I feel having a right resume is definitely a key for landing yourself into the interview position. It doesn't guarantee you the job, but at least you have a say in the interview.
Thank you so much, Paras, for answering that. Sid Paul from YouTube, who has joined us, please let us know if that answers your question or if you have any follow-up questions. We have one just opposite question, Paras. I can see one question from Nagaraju here, which says that I am from a non-IT background with 8 years of experience, and I basically want to go towards cybersecurity. What would you suggest him?
See, I think if somebody has a decent experience, which is like 8 years plus experience, is a very, very good experience. So I would recommend, if a person is coming from a technology standpoint, go with the profiles like pen testing, threat hunting, SOC analyst kind of a role. But if somebody is coming from a non-technology background or a mixed technology background, I would say go into or land into the GRC side of it, wherein you can be a security assessor, you can be a security reviewer, you can be in the CISO organization as well. So those kind of roles would definitely be easier for him to attend.
Thank you so much for answering that, Paris. I hope that answers your question, Nagaraju. Let us know if you have any follow-up questions, and also for other folks as well. Please do let us know if you have any questions about cybersecurity careers or basically the program in general. So now that we have talked about the skills here, now we have talked about the career paths you can take up in cybersecurity. We have talked about how the emerging techs in cybersecurity will be in demand, not only in 2024 but future and beyond as well. So we would love to know, are you interested in enrolling into the professional certificate program in cybersecurity, Red Team by IIT Kanpur here? So you can see a quick poll launched on your screen here, where you can see the options yes and no, and you can share your interest towards enrollment by basically sharing yes here. I'll be taking you through the enrollment steps of the program after this. They're very quick, simple, easy steps, and also the program schedule and the program fee as well. So I'll just give 15 seconds for this poll here. As I'm speaking, I see that a lot of interest coming towards enrollment. So that's great. Meanwhile, I'll just quickly browse through the Q&A here. See, and we have more questions here. And see if we can answer you.
So Rasha, I may have to drop for another one. Sorry, I have a hard stop here.
Sure, sure,
But
sure.
I really love the energy on this particular webinar and looking forward for attending more questions and answering them as well.
Sure, Paras. Thank you so much, Paras, for joining us. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you. Have a good evening, good night to you.
Thank you so much, Rasha. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome, folks. Like I think I see most of you folks have already responded for the poll here, but I see the polls are still moving. I see a lot of interest coming towards the enrollment for this IIT Kanpur's certificate program here in cybersecurity. I think I'll just give 10 seconds more here. And for the folks who have joined us on YouTube as well, you can let us know your interest in enrolling into the IIT Kanpur's Red Team Cybersecurity Professional Certificate program here. So last 10 seconds, folks, you can let us know your interest in joining the program here. I can see that folks are responding yes on the chat as well, but please do share your response on the poll as well. That is how we basically can reach out to you as well. So we might lose your response on the chat. So, awesome. I think last 10 seconds before we move on to the enrollment steps of the program. And a lot of folks who have joined us from YouTube as well. Thank you for joining and thank you for being an amazing audience. I see a lot of interaction on the chat there going on there as well. That's great. Awesome. I see that most of you folks have already shared your responses for this poll here. So last 5 seconds, are you interested in enrolling into the professional certificate program in cybersecurity by IIT Kanpur Red Team? You can let us know through the poll here, which has been launched. Would you like to enroll into the program? With an option, yes, you can share your interest towards enrollment here. And I will be taking you through the enrollment steps of the program and also sharing with you the program upcoming schedule and also the program fee and also asking you when exactly are you planning to enroll. Just to understand, so we can basically reach out to you with the admissions offer letter, and also obviously Simplilearn's learning consultant will be taking you through the program in much more detail, whatever questions you have as well. So there'll be a walkthrough of the program as well, which is required. So I think last 5 seconds, I think only I can see only few of the folks who have not responded. So last 5 seconds for you folks. You can share your responses for the poll here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. Thank you so much for sharing your interest towards enrollment. I saw a lot of interest basically popping up through the enrollment here. So how do we exactly enroll? Let me quickly take you through the enrollment steps here. So this is for the folks, a lot of you folks who have shared interest in enrollment. Please just pay attention for the next 5 minutes. This will be helpful. So when basically the Simplilearn's learning consultants will be reaching out to you. So they will be taking you through this small 3 easy steps to follow, which I'll just show you quickly. You need to submit an application to us at askus@simplilearn.net. Based on that, application will be going for review based on the eligibility and the prerequisites I've shared with you earlier. And based on that, you'll be getting admissions offer from the Simplilearn's learning consultant team. And also they'll be taking you through a much more detailed walkthrough of the program as well as if you request them as well. So I'll be sharing the email ID in few minutes here. In the enrollment schedule and the program fee for the IIT Kanpur's professional certificate program in cybersecurity Red Team. The fee here is 1,45,000 including taxes, INR. And I think someone asked about if there are any EMI options available. So yes, we do have that for as low as 4,935 rupees per month. And also the immediate cohort, which we have, which is the classes are starting on 20th Jan 2024, and the induction for this program will start on 16th Jan 2024. So for folks who have joined from other countries, I can share the link of the program for you. You can check out for your own region. And in case you have any questions for us, you can always reach out to us if you need assistance on this email ID by askus@simplilearn.net. I share that email ID with you on the chat here. I'm just doing that only. So you can just reach out to us there in case you have any questions, any doubts. Please do reach out there. I'm just sharing that email ID quickly here for you. Awesome. So as I've taken you through the enrollment steps here, what exactly you can expect from when Simplilearn Learning Consultants reach out to you, and also the program fee and the upcoming schedule as well. Now you know the immediate cohort which is upcoming. So we would love to know how soon do you plan to enroll into the IIT Kanpur's professional certificate program in cybersecurity red team. So this is for the folks, which is a lot of you who have shared interest towards enrollment. This is very important. Now, this is to understand when exactly do you plan to enroll. So that is when we can reach out to you as well. And we have cohorts throughout the year. And we also make sure that we take only limited set of folks per cohort in order to make sure that you're getting all the attention that is required when you're taking up the program. So just to keep that in mind, this poll is really important because cohorts fill up pretty fast, pretty quick. And cybersecurity is pretty much in demand, as you can see. So I think as I was speaking, most of the folks have already shared the responses. We have gotten folks who are very active when it comes to interaction and also polls. But I think I'll just give last 5 seconds for the poll here. 4 quick options here we have. First one is immediately. Upcoming cohort, which I've shared with you, starts on 20th Jan 2024. That is next year. And for folks who are still thinking about it and I'm not sure when do you want to start. So I would suggest the last 2 options here, within 3 months, within 6 months, and more than 6 months from now. You can select any of these in case you're confused. And as I mentioned earlier, we have cohorts upcoming throughout the year. And also we take limited set of folks per cohort. I think last 5 seconds, because I see most of you have already shared the responses. Last 5 seconds for the folks who have shared enrollment interest. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. And also, I have one more basically poll for you. We are just towards the end of the session. And this is for the folks who have already shared with us that they want to enroll, which is a lot of you, which I saw at the interest towards IIT Kanpur's cybersecurity red team program. So if you guys need assistance in enrolling into the program. Now, this is for the working professionals. Basically, if you're really busy, we definitely can help you out in enrolling into the program. We can give you that assistance from Simplilearn's learning consultants when they reach out to you. So you can let us know through this poll here. Okay, Siddharth, you will receive the certificate by Saturday or Sunday. You will be receiving the certificate for this webinar. So please don't worry. Also, for the folks who basically want the webinar certificate of this one, you basically, I'll be ending the session now. And for Siddharth, I think he has asked a question about the certificate only. So, and for others folks as well. So basically, when the webinar ends, either you have joined from your mobile, laptop, or desktop, there will be a pop-up by Zoom which says post-webinar survey. There you need to fill down your full name there. And basically, once you fill up your full name there, which you would want to see on the certificate, you can also share a feedback for us on if you have any feedback on how we can make it better so we can provide more value to you. So I think we are towards the end of the session here. Thank you so much, folks. You have been an amazing audience. And we basically will be ending the session now because we exceeded the time by a few minutes. I'm so sorry for that. We tried addressing all of your queries as much as possible here and also on the YouTube live chat box as well. So, so sorry if you were not able to answer all of your queries, but you can always reach out to us at askus@simply.net. I've shared that email ID there. In case you have any queries, you need more assistance, please do that. I'm sharing that email ID once again. And for other folks who basically would want to check out the program in detail, I'll just share the link towards the IIT Kanpur's professional certificate program in cybersecurity red team with you. So you can check out the link to the program here as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We are basically nearing towards the end of the year. So Merry Christmas to you. Wishing you a Happy New Year. This is the last webinar of this year. So it's very special and it's amazing to have you always and amazing to host you always. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll be signing off now and thank you. Happy New Year, folks. I see responses coming in on chat. So Amanda, Merry Christmas as well. Thank you. Thank you, folks. We'll be ending the session now. You'll be seeing the post-webinar survey pop up once I end the session. Please go and basically fill your full name there in case you want the webinar certificate. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.